Brandon and Nicole often show up. We shall see. Oh, you're recording? Okay. All right. Hang on just a minute. There we go. Well, welcome, everyone. This is the year-long Miracles course, and I'm Lynn Woodland. The Miracles course got its name from my decades-long exploration. My career has been one of really looking into the nature of miraculous experience, seeing what gives rise to miracles, learning how to teach to all of us how miracles can become part of life, and we can really tap into spiritual law to enhance our quality of life, and as we lift the world around us to a higher place as well. I've written a couple of books about miracles. First one's called Holding a Butterfly, an experiment in miracle making. And the second is called The Breakthrough Point. I'll talk a little bit about that book tonight in our lesson material. But they both essentially are experiments in miracle making. So as you read the books, you're drawn deeper and deeper into exercises that connect you with all the other people reading the book, past, present, and future, into this one amplified force for good. And it talks about why that should be possible, all the research, the science validating it. So that's the sort of thing we do here. And the Miracles course is a class I created about 20 years ago now. Meets every week, a little bit of a different slant every single week on how to apply spiritual law to the everyday, to our behavior, to the way we think, the way we meditate, the way we everything. And the whole context of the spiritual work is set into the context of the 4 seasons, because nature, just such a great little template for a whole cyclical growing experience in a very human way, as well as a nature way. We are nature, right? So right now we're getting deep into fall, pretty deep. And fall is all about looking at the darkness within ourselves, facing the darkness in the world, learning how to bravely face it and come through it stronger. So tonight, I wanted to talk a little bit about the times we're in, because these days there are so many people feeling so terribly oppressed by the state of the world, feeling fearful, angry, depressed, hopeless, on and on and on. And I want to give a little background on some of my thinking about the times we're in. Because since about 2013, 2014, in my teaching and writing, I started to feel a real urgency in putting forth my crazy idea that approximately every 7 to 8 years, we've been and will continue to see these big collective pivotal turning points that would bring crisis and or breakthroughs that would change humanity. Now, these time frames aren't random. It wasn't just, the lords of Zuzu kind of came and told me. I had a precise way of formulating them. And I explained the formulation in a lot of depth in my book, The Breakthrough Point. So I'm not going to get into that here. It'll get a little long and nerdy. But I suggested that around November of 2016, we'd see a particularly pivotal point. In fact, hit just around election time. Funny about that. Excuse me, I'm feeling a little tickle in my throat. And I predicted that once we hit that point, life was going to get increasingly extreme in unprecedented ways. And all this would be a result of an evolutionary shift that humanity is in the midst of right now, where everything old is falling apart, just as lots of new things are coming together. To just get kind of a visual of it in a nutshell, all the hierarchical power structures that start with power at the top, kind of filtering down, someone up here telling everybody else what to do, kind of pyramid fashion. All of that is really kind of reversing into much more of a grassroots, ground up form of power. In my book, I give all kinds of demonstrations of this. I'm not speaking just as a spiritual teacher here, like, oh, I feel the energy. It's like coming, it's like waves of love. No. This is really in our face stuff. The way technology has connected us, the way things like the internet have equalized industries like the music industry, the publishing industry. You don't have to go through a great big corporation to get a platform. You can just go online and create one yourself. I mean, it's really turned an awful lot of things around. However, the falling apart that's happening now tends to be a whole lot more disruptive and in our faces than all that's coming together. Especially because all of these old forms of top-down power and old ways of being, old ways of life, tend to get stronger in kind of a last gasp effort to keep things the way they were, to resist change. Even so, what's come together over the last 20, 25 years has changed us fundamentally in ways that we just are so ubiquitous we take for granted. And again, I explain all this in a lot of detail in my book, The Breakthrough Point, so I'm not going to get real nerdy into it right now. But when I wrote the book, and I wrote all this before 2016, not really knowing what was coming. And when I did write the book, I deliberately didn't cite the exact dates of pivotal points after 2016. However, by the system I suggested, one did fall, the next one after 2016 did fall last year, this time, again, right around an election cycle in this country. And I proposed that the significance of that pivotal point last year would be to test the strength of what we set in motion in 2016 and whether we've gotten stronger or weaker from our choices. As I said, I wrote about all this before 2016, not really knowing all that was coming in just a few years. And I didn't know the extent of, shall we say, pandemonium that was going to hit the world. I mean, the worldwide pandemic, just think how enormously that changed us, affected us, hurt us, taught us how huge that was. In this time, there have been escalating environmental disasters, bigger and bigger and bigger ones, crazy politics. You got to admit, politics are a little nutso. We wake up to hear things like quite unexpectedly, a whole actual wing of the White House was just torn down. Like, what? Wait, no notice. Oh, okay. Oh, it's so crazy that it sort of fits into the new normal. In fact, so many unprecedented things are happening these days that a lot of media critics are starting to say that the very word unprecedented has become cliche from so much overuse. And we live in such a globalized world where we're all more connected to one another than we've ever been. Our individual destinies and the collective experience of the all of the world are becoming increasingly intertwined. And even if we never watch the news, even if we feel that we aren't that affected by the events of the world, we really can't avoid the whole vibration of change. It is the atmospheric soup we all are swimming in these days. And times of great change where everything feels unprecedented and unpredictable can't help but be tumultuous and frightening. But think of this evolutionary shift as a great big wave that has the power to suck us under and tumble us around. Or alternately, if we use our spiritual skills, we can learn to ride the wave and it can lift and carry us into our own highest evolutionary path with tremendous speed. It can really speed up our evolution, our personal evolution. And the good news about living in times of evolutionary transformation is that we really can use this energy to fast track our own personal success and well-being and do it in a way that lifts others up with us. There's a very well-known developmental biologist by the name of Bruce Lipton, who's written some best-selling books. And one of them wasn't his first. I think it was one of his later books, very groundbreaking, called Spontaneous Evolution, where he busted the whole Darwinian theory of survival of the fittest, which is a myth that we've all been just entrenched in for way too long. It's the idea that the strongest survive on the backs of all the rest. And this Darwinian story portrays all living creatures as separate individuals struggling in competition with each other. But he's showing that this view of life is actually proving to be a false one. Now, he wrote an earlier best-selling book called Biology of Belief, where he broke new ground in his field by making a pretty good case that genes and DNA can, in fact, be manipulated by belief. So as we think ourselves healed, we can actually change our physiology. He came up with some pretty good scientific validation for just the healing we do here, for a lot of the work we do here. Then, in the book Spontaneous Evolution, he challenges all those assumptions of Darwinism, saying, and I'm quoting him here, what we have failed to realize is that the real evolutionary principle is thrival of the fittest. Thrival. Those organisms that best fit the environment by contributing and supporting global harmony get to thrive while others will ... end quote. And then he went on to say a little later in the book, in other words, in order for our species to survive, we need to, oh, wait a minute. I forgot something. I was letting in Gina. Hey, Gina, you distracted me, girl. He goes on to say, paradoxically, this new level of cooperative awareness means maximum expression for the individual and maximum benefit for the whole, end quote. In other words, in order for our species to survive, we need to abandon survival strategies, be it personally, I'm just trying to survive here, or collectively. We need to aim higher. We need to learn how to thrive and thrive together. So the path forward needs to be win-win and not winning at the expense of others. But, it's so easy. So easy to feel hopeless and powerless in our ability to move the needle when every time we turn on the news, it's like, oh my God, something new, and the world just seems to be going nuts. However, I've shared stories here where I personally have seen things change remarkably in the direction of my higher intentions when I've remembered to use my spiritual skills instead of simply fall back and kind of wallow in all my human fears and doubts and miseries. And really, that's the whole point of this course. So what I want to talk about tonight is how, as a single organism, we can find the power to thrive, even when we feel in the midst of a chaotic world, seems to be moving in the opposite direction, like the world's going to hell in a handbasket, and even during those times, we can find a way to not only thrive, but raise the world up around us at the same time. But this whole struggle to survive, it's so built into our way of living and thinking that we probably don't even realize all the ways it affects us. So simply put, in a little nutshell, struggling to survive leads to breakdown. Struggling to survive is part of the old model. It's not part of the new evolutionary model. But working cooperatively to thrive is what enables breakthrough. And again, if we're so dug into the struggle of life, we might not even think about thriving. It's so like out of our realm of what we're dealing with. We don't even think about it. And when we don't even think about something, it's harder to create that as reality. If we haven't let ourselves think about something, much, much harder to call things in, because imagination is one of our most powerful creative tools. It's what often precedes manifestation. So let's do that. Let's do some imagining here. Close your eyes for a moment and just take a deep breath. Turn your attention inward. And just consider for you, what does it mean to thrive? What do you imagine for yourself, not hypothetically, for you? What do you imagine to be the elements of a thriving life? Not just having just what you need to survive. Okay, that's enough. I can get by now. But what would really enable you to thrive, to feel at your best, to feel happy, to feel on purpose, to feel whole? How does thriving feel and look different from surviving? How does it look and feel different from meeting a goal? Is thriving different from success for you? And if so, how? Have you given much attention to thriving? Or is it, out of your field of vision and awareness? And if you feel that you are already thriving, what would it mean to be more powerfully thriving, to thrive even more than you already are? What would that look like? So see if you can get some kind of vision on that. How does this life feel? Just imagine yourself walking around in this thriving life, just seeing how it fits. See what you do that's different. What's your day like in this thrival experience? Do you feel more relaxed and at peace? How does it change levels of stress and pressure? How does it affect your relationships and interactions with people? Do you feel more connected to others or not? And how does it affect how you feel about yourself? How would living a thriving life relate to your health? Now, as you imagine thriving, does anything feel missing? As you imagine yourself living a thriving life, have you noticed any part of you that might feel more comfortable with struggle? For example, do you identify with the righteousness of the underdog role? Or the adrenalized effort of competition, of dog eat dog, of going for it, of winning? Or the certainty that if there is no pain, there can be no gain? Do you have any sense that if you don't struggle, what you get in the end is less valuable? That struggle conveys greater value? And is there any part of thriving that you define as being so lofty that it's out of reach. So just give attention to thriving this way. Just look at it from all these different perspectives. See if there's anything that has jumped out as you ask yourself all of these questions. And then as you're ready, take some deep breaths, open your eyes. And let's just open it up for sharing around anything that might have come up for you as you reflected on those questions. You know, like, what does your thriving life look like? What's it look like? How's it different from where you are now? And are you in touch with any resistance to thriving? And is what you imagine for yourself as you think about thriving, are you asking are you asking for enough? You know, are you asking from life enough? Or are you really imagining what could be truly your highest good? You know, is even your imagining, you know, kind of have some limits on it? And what are those limits? So anyone who's willing to share, just jump in. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
Randy.
What I thought about that just being, you know, more at peace and just kind of looking forward to each day.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes when I visualize some of this stuff, I go for the feeling. What does it feel like?
And that's a powerful way to do it, because if you can cultivate that feeling, which is the vibration you're putting out into the world around you, then you attract whatever circumstance best fits it. So that is really, that's good magic, Randy. Well done.
And then, of course, you know, I definitely have my resistance, and I have to look at that. And it's like, when you start looking at it, go, that doesn't, no. You know, no.
Yeah.
You know, tell yourself, yes, you deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can look at then I look at my thoughts that limit it.
Mm-hmm.
And how to do something about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good process. And you know, when we become aware of that resistance, just our awareness disables some of the power it has over us. So that immediately shifts it. And like you said, now you know what's there to, you know, do a little workaround. Thank you for getting us started. Who else? Yeah, Gina.
So I thank you again for this, by the way. Also, I was envisioning some type of healing center, but also where I like travel and like set up retreats for people and stuff, like that. And I would say some of the resistance that like comes up is like me like being the only one probably that I know of that would do something like that right now or be open to something like that. So like just knowing that everybody's gonna have judgments on what you do, like no matter what it is, and to, you know, try not to let that affect me moving forward. And then also like getting over like women helping women. I think there's also like kind of like a little bit of a thing there where I don't have the self-confidence, I think, still. So then I'm still kind of a little bit leery with really confident women, maybe, or something like that type of thing. But I'm starting to learn that, like, it's all a learning process. And, you know, there's always going to be somebody that you could learn from, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, those were some of the things.
So, were you able to just start to get a feeling of what it would be like to live in that life? Past all the limitations?
Very freeing. Very, like, yeah, very freeing, being able to, like, be my own boss, but, like, I have, like, a team that I'm also kind of being able to help. And so that it's not quite all on me, all the responsibilities. So it's still like a freeing feeling. And so, yeah, very freeing and just happy, abundant, and just like life. Just like greenery everywhere, and like, you know, like being out in like nature, and just, yeah. And being really happy with that. That's
a good inner experience for you to cultivate and bring up, especially if you're feeling self-doubt and some of the more limiting self-talk that we all have. That's a really good a really good place to go.
That's good. Thank you. Yeah, I've been working on it with nature and stuff lately, and trying to, and I feel like I got kind of a little bit of a message from my grandmother's today too, so it was really cool. About like self-healing and nature and everything, and just kind of what I needed to hear. So
nice.
So thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else want to share?
What I got is I want to travel more. I had said a couple years ago that I wanted to take one trip a year. And I did go visit my son last year in North Carolina. I took all my kids and we went and visited him. But this year I was looking at my finances, and so I haven't traveled this year. Instead, one of my aunts came to visit me. And so I kind of said to myself, oh, well, you know, that's close enough, because, you know, the point of traveling is to see people. But now I realized that was actually, you know, I had a fear-based reaction to my finances, and I pretty much talked myself out of traveling for this year. And so I'm not going to do that next year. I graduated from the University of Metaphysics a few years ago, and they're having a graduation ceremony next year. And they only have it, I think, every 5 or 6 years or so. And so I'm just going to, you know, have the faith to believe that I will have the financing so that I'll be able to attend.
Good for you. Where is that?
It's in Sedona, Arizona.
Oh, yes, you are going.
Thank you.
You're totally going.
Thank you.
Going. Anyone else? Well, let's keep going. I want to invite us all. I mean, it sounds like the people who shared, you know, we went somewhere. Consider over the next week expanding that vision beyond this goal, that goal, something bigger, something that is maybe even more fundamental, something that, you know, just goes all the way into our DNA, that is about, because there is an aspect of thriving that is about not going it alone. So it isn't about having to do it all ourselves, having the strength to just carry the world on our shoulders. It's about finding ways to come together with others so that we become stronger, more empowered, more abundant, more enabled, freer, all of those things. So play with this in your mind. Invite your imagination to keep stretching bigger and bigger and bigger. I want to go on now. My audiences tend to be sophisticated, spiritually sophisticated, and self-aware. I mean, you know yourselves, you all, I'm talking about you. And we understand the power of unconditional love, as well as the importance of self-love. And yet, at the same time, something I've noticed about my very sophisticated spiritual audiences, where we tend to be kind and giving and self-aware and have a very active relationship with God, is that we are often still not so good at receiving. But to evolve rather than to simply survive all the upheaval of our times, we need to be willing to expect, request, and receive more from life. Those are all important aspects. Expect it. So, imagine it, put it in your mind. At least tell yourself that you can have this, you deserve it. Yes, why not? Sure. Expect, request, put it out there. Okay, universe, I choose this. I choose this right now. Thank you very much. Sometimes it means requesting horizontally from people in our lives. Third is receiving, being willing to open the floodgates to all that comes in. We need to be willing to expect, request, and receive more from life. So, okay, we started with all the bad news. This evolutionary upheaval has created a lot more poopy duty in our lives. A lot of stress, a lot of chaos, a lot of... The good news, though, is that living in times of evolutionary transformation is that we can use this energy to fast track our success and well-being. And I've talked here before that I think all of us here who've been practicing meditation, spiritual practices of all sorts, have been working up to being alive here and now, not just for ourselves and our own personal growth, but for the evolution of the planet. We are the ones to really help take others along with us. And as I was saying a minute ago, the key to catching the wave, rather than be pummeled by it, is to do it together. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pair us up. So look around at the names here. I'm going to pick a partner for you all. Okay? Randy, you are partnered with Gina. Sophronia, you are partnered with Sherry. Cynthia, you're partnered with me. So got that? Got your partner? Okay, now close your eyes. And again, just turn within, take a couple of deep breaths. And as we all have maybe become a little more aware of how thriving might look and feel for us, just step into that life. Imagine that it's here now. Open the floodgates to all that life could be for you, both the dreamed and the undreamed possibilities. Imagine just walking around in that life, You are free. You're happy. And just notice everything you can about how it's different. How it feels when there's nothing lacking. There's no scarcity of money or love or time or health or joy or purpose or hope or passion for life. That's an important one. So if you ever feel like, I got everything I need, I don't want anything, you might be missing that spark, that passion for life that aspires to what's next, that looks forward. So imagine now in your thriving life, every moment bringing a sense that something wonderful is about to happen. You don't always know what, but you do know it's going to be amazing. Just imagine waking up in the morning, feeling just so happy to get out of bed, anticipating the day ahead. And imagine your day is just filled with love and joyful purpose and pleasure and miracles. You don't have to fill in the details. Just know all these wonderful things are coming because they've happened. Every day is filled this way. And you know the next day is going to be just as good, if not better. So imagine going to sleep at night feeling blessed and grateful, and of course looking forward to tomorrow. And you sleep well. Your body feels good, you're healthy, vital. And imagine yourself just so full of love and joy and excitement about life that it can't be contained. It just naturally flows out to the world beyond. And imagine everyone here just joining you now. And take a moment to just open your heart to all these others, really authentically letting their healing, their well-being, their highest good matter to you, because you know now that they are part of your thriving life. That we thrive when we thrive together, when we all win. That takes us all to a higher place. And silently from your heart to say to each one, I'm here and I care about you. I'm here for you. Be well, be happy. And let the feeling of this become as real and deep as you can, knowing that our joint loving intention is the power that gives rise to miracles. This is the energy of evolution. Imagine us all connected in a web of loving consciousness that positively affects our state of physical health, enhances our feeling of emotional well-being, and it provides energy to manifest our dreams. It gives us opportunity for transformation, manifestation, and ease that didn't exist before. So now just feeling supercharged. Direct attention to your partner. And imagine yourself coming to them as an angelic helper, wanting more than anything to see them thrive. And just see if there are words that come to mind. Words that God somehow just puts in your mind that your partner needs to hear. That you are just, as their angel, you are coaching them to open the floodgates to all the abundant joy God has for them. Don't think of yourself as a limited human. Think of yourself as a divine being. And you have the power, not just the wish, to assist this person. And with words, touch, and love, just convey to this beautiful soul that they are not alone, that they have help, that it's okay to expect, request, and receive more from life. It's safe to let go and thrive. And you might imagine just gently taking your hands and laying your hands on this other person in your imagination. And as a divine being, giving a transmission of love, of healing, of power. That you believe that this person is now able to thrive. You can see it, you support it, you raise this person up. And know that this is raising you up as well. This is taking us all up higher. So let's complete by silently thanking your partner. Take some deep breaths. Just send a silent thank you to all the people here in this group. As you're ready, just gently come back. And open your eyes. And as you all just take a moment to breathe, to get a sip, if you've got something. I want to share one of my favorite go-to quotes from the book I've been talking about tonight, Bruce Lipton's Spontaneous Evolution. He wrote, "Crisis ignites evolution. The challenges and crises we face today are actually signs that spontaneous change is imminent. We are about to face our evolution." So I want to open it up for sharing. And in particular, if there was anything that came to you that seems like it is for your partner, as you were imagining yourself just being there as a divine being for your partner, if anything came to you, you can share that. Sometimes we will receive intuitive messages that way. Cynthia, I just got very strong vibration for you. And it had to do, it was almost like you were accepting into your body the heart of God. I mean, it was really powerful. It was like this divine cosmic heart. It wasn't like you were connecting with it. It was like God was saying, no, here, you get my heart. I placed my heart in you. It was huge. And the other part of it was that you have the willingness to do what it takes. Say yes. Say yes to this powerful divine love. Let that just vibrate through you. Don't defend against it. Don't try to limit it. Allow the heart of God to beat within your body and vibrate out to the world, to everyone around you. There you have it. Cool beans.
Lynn, seriously?
Yeah.
Like I felt such like I've been crying because of I just felt so much unconditional love like from
Yeah,
you
you did.
to you. And it
wasn't me. It was like, ah,
no,
way
but just
bigger than
like
me.
yes. I love it. Like I'm tearing up over here. This was phenomenal.
Yeah, you
Yes.
got it. You got it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, I love hearing that you let it in, because I wasn't feeling any resistance. Yeah. Cool. Can't wait to see, where that takes you. Anyone else want to share?
I want to share.
Yeah.
This is for my partner, Sherry. I've never done this before, but I'm just going to tell you what I got very strongly. Lynn, when you told us to start thinking about our partner, I started hearing a song, a really old song by Curtis Blow. It's called Basketball. And there's the chorus is, we're playing basketball, we're playing basketball. But what I got was, Sherry, take aim and shoot your shot. Take your shot. I don't know if there's something in your life that you've been on the fence about whether you should do it or not, but that's just what I just got very strongly in my spirit, that you should go for it. You should take aim and you should take your shot, whatever it is that you're wanting to do.
Love it.
Thank you. That's really cool. Perfectly nice message. I didn't get any intuitive information. I just did more healing and more supportive energy for the traveling that you wanted to do.
Yeah, don't anybody worry if you didn't get words. We did a lot of silent transmission there. So what was needed is received here. Don't worry if, but I didn't get that. Okay. Don't worry about that. You did what was needed. Anyone else want to share?
Well, I'll go for it. For Gina, I just heard a couple words, and it's something we all can use. So it's like, you're safe, you're loved, and you're supported.
Thank you. I needed to hear that. And I also, I was basically, the first thing that came to mind was that I got your back and I won't abandon you. And I was saying that, like, somehow our lights were coming together, and like, we weren't like actual people, but it was like our spirits, our souls. And I was saying, like, let's go fly together and be free. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to invite us this week to, as we think of it, continue to hold our partner in our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers. Imagine we are that divine being, because we all are. There is no place that God isn't, meaning that God is right here in all of us. We are God. There's no part of us that isn't God. Even our limited personality, our ego, the parts that we're often taught, oh, we need to get rid of that. It's all God. And the more you claim that God within you and see it in everyone else, the more you empower yourself and raise everybody up along with you. So imagining, knowing that you are God. You are God. Just give attention to your partner, raising them up into their God awareness too. And let's see what we can create together over this week. This week's content was a bit different from the written materials. I diverged from the course content to update it a bit, and I want to give you the code to get into the. Bill, will we have this tonight's recording up on the page if people want to go back to it? What? Yes or no? It'd be great if we could. I don't know. I can't hear what he's saying. Anyway, to get the link to access the other materials, go to my website, lynnwoodland.com. Go to the month of November. Even though we're still in October, we're in the 5th week of October. So we're starting November this month, which means we will take off a Wednesday. Yeah, I'd love to have it up so that people can access it if they want to. We will take off the Wednesday right before Thanksgiving, because I know people have stuff to do around holidays. But we're in November, so go to the Miracles course, click on it, drop down menu to the month of November, look for the first month or the first week of November, click on it, type in number 41, capital O, capital R. And Bill has the link and the code if you just want to go directly to it. You can cut and paste that or just click on it. That'll take you there. It's 41 OR, letter O, R. Yeah, we're in November. As I just said, we're in the 5th Wednesday of October. So I'm starting November this month. And that will enable us to take 1 week off around Thanksgiving at the end of next month. I do still have some openings in tomorrow night's workshop where we will be hearing from our past crossed over loved ones. And I tend to get a lot of signups at the last minute. So if you're interested, do let me know. Send me an email. Just go to my donut, my donut site. Give me a donut. Go to my donation button on my website and pay the fee there. There's a fee of $50 for this. If that is in some way difficult for you, send me an email. I'm open to paying it when you can, how you can for this group, because I know you guys come regularly. But let me know, because if I get too many at the last minute, I will cut it off. Otherwise, pay through the donation option. send me an email. I will send you the link tomorrow. Anything left before we complete tonight? Then that's it, folks. Lovely evening. It's always a blessing. Just really, whether you're with Emily and I tomorrow or not, really take a moment somewhere in the next 2 days between Halloween and Day of the Dead to honor those who've passed away. Because, I mean, as one of you even mentioned, you had a visit in your dreams. The veil between the worlds is said to be thinner this time of year, and our loved ones often want to reach through and help us out and love us and heal us and guide us. So say hey to them. I will be myself. Take care, you all. I love you all, and blessings. Namaste. Till next time.